No, she's still working on that. But Locke learned all the Bismarck spells in, what, like 2 seconds? So, what we give him? We could let him learn Raspin Osmose, but... See, the thing is, he could learn it from Shiva, that's the only thing he could learn from her. But he might as well learn it from this one, because he'd learn it quicker. So we'll just put that off until later. You can get some of the other ones here, but... Poison. Nothing much. You know, there's not that many spells that you really need. I mean, if you want to be anal about it and just learn every single one of them, you can do that. But I'm not going to do that because, well, there's certain ones you just plain don't need. Shell and Safe, for instance. I mean, those are good spells, you know. But oh well, actually they are good. We will give them. I never really realized how useful those spells were, like Protect and Shell, until around Final Fantasy 9 or 10. And then I realized what a difference they made, and I went back to the older games and said, hey, how about that? Those do work. Where I learned here too. So, pretty much you'll probably be doing this for about a half hour. Maybe 45 minutes or so. But anyway, that's how I grind for spells. So, what I think I'm going to do is actually turn off the camera and do this for a while and learn some spells and get some other characters in here so they can learn some spells. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here all day, so... And I don't think either of us want that, so having said that, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off. Hang on a second. Just one more fight. Just one more. I'm just trying to show that, indeed, if you go to the right spot, you will get attacked by a single ghost. And get 3 magic points every time, so... That's pretty much it. Alright, I will see you as soon as I'm done learning my spells. So, hold on. Okay. Now, here's something else you can do to learn spells. Although I don't particularly recommend it, it's one way that you can do it. Get on your airship and go up here, and you remember this triangle island I showed you? It's somewhere out here in the northeast corner of the map. I don't know why my map is not showing up. Maybe I need to push select or something? Huh. Anyway, fly around long enough and you'll find it. It's just basically an island sitting out in the northeast corner of the map. Well, where are you? Okay, we are on the wrong end of the map. There it is, okay. Over here there's a small forest down here. Now, I don't know, I think you can get this encounter in the fields too, but I'm not sure. Remember how I said before that you get some weird encounters over here? Oh, well that's not them, but... I'll just kind of wander around until one of them shows up. In the meantime, you can sit here and watch how many times it takes for one of them to show up. And this is why I don't recommend this strategy, because it takes too long for one of them to show up. But eventually you'll get one. It's a monster called Intangier. And, the name, Intangier, obviously sounds like intangible, which means it can't be touched. That's because the monster comes with Vanish as one of its status upgrades, I guess you could say. I think they only appear in the forest, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure they appear in the fields too. But if you wait for long, and see, this is why I don't like doing this, because they hardly ever show up. You're better off just going with the ghosts. At least they show up reliably, like half the time. But this Intangier monster doesn't show up hardly at all. But the thing is, if you actually beat the Intangier monster, then you get 10 magic points for it. Which is quite a buttload of magic points, if I do say so myself. The thing is just getting it to show up, and then I'll have to show you how to beat it. There's a trick in this game. Pretty much any enemy in the whole game, some bosses included, can be beaten by casting Vanish on them, and then Doom. And since Terra learns Doom, I thought I'd go check this out. Since he has Vanish already, all you gotta do is cast Doom, and that pretty much does it. But you gotta watch out, because he's gonna counter before he dies. Whoa, look at the size of that thing. Counter with Meteo. Fortunately, it only targets one person, but it's pretty powerful, but you get 10 magic points for it. So that is one other way that you could learn spells if you wanted to. The problem is just that he doesn't show up enough of the time for it to be worth it. At least not in my opinion, anyway. Maybe I just haven't been hanging around for long enough, but... And if he would show up in the fields, that would be even better, but I don't know if he does or not. You know how I was saying earlier? I was saying earlier that Vanish is a really useful spell. That's part of the reason that it is, because you can cast Vanish on an enemy, make them invisible to physical attacks, but then completely vulnerable to Doom, which they otherwise might not be. If I understand right, they removed that from the game, though, that little bug, but that's one of the more commonly known bugs in the game. You can pretty much beat any enemy using that, but 10 magic points is nothing to sneeze at, and so far he has only shown up in the forest, so that might be the only place he ever does. But if you take a look, we've got... Oh, dude, I am so bad at these buttons. You can see we've learned a lot of spells here. Realm's got all the Fire, Ice, Bolt. Pretty much everybody's got those, though. Locke's got Bio, he's working on the others. Sarah's got everything, but of course, I would hope, since she's the best wizard of all. And Strago, of course. He's got most of his. We're still not quite done with these guys. We got some of the other stuff, like Haste, and that's one spell I forgot to mention with Haste. That comes with the Carbuncle Esper, and it's really useful. So where was we? So we're gonna head back down here and learn some more spells. See you later. Okay, we are back, and I guess I'm going to take you into the next stage of my grinding. Now, I said earlier it should only take about a half hour to learn all the spells you need to learn in the forest. Boy, was I wrong. This is what I got so far. I haven't taught everybody everything, but for the most part, I've got a lot of the necessary ones. Pretty much the only ones you really need. I mean, you don't really need any of them. I mean, you can play it any way you want, but it's advisable to get at least the Fire 2, Ice 2, Bolt 2, Fire, Ice, and Bolt, and all your cure spells. For several characters, maybe not all of them, but see, like I said before, I'm an anal retentive kind of person, so I went through and pretty much taught everybody everything. He didn't get Drain and Dispel. That was kind of hard to get, but, excuse me, pretty much everything else. Everybody, even Cyan, who's got the lowest magic power, knows everything. So, so I spent about 3 hours doing this. So. Yes. So now, we're not quite going to the floating island yet. Not in this update, we're not. But what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take out one character at a time. We'll start with Terra. You know what? Actually, we can take two at a time. Because I just decided something. We'll take Terra and Cyan. Because we know Cyan's going to be building strength and not magic. But it's advisable to build a little bit of both, though, just, you know, so you have that security. Anyway. Now, we'll unequip everyone who's not in the party. I think Cyan's still equipped, though. Yes, he is. And he's got his relics. And his espers. Bismarck, that's the one I want him with. So Terra, we're just going to take the shortcut there and equip Optimum because, well, it's what it is, you know. He didn't have sprint shoes, did he? Okay, we're going to have to give him sprint shoes then. Another piece of advice I would give you when you're grinding in the forest is to equip these two relics. Gale Hairpin, which increases the preemptive attack rate, and Back Guard so you don't get attacked from behind. And that'll speed it up a little bit so that you'll get the first hit and just make your way through the battles a little quicker when you don't have those random ones hitting you from behind and things like that. Sprint shoes, well, we're going to need that. And what else? Maybe earrings. Actually, earrings might be... Well, actually, Hero Ring would be better than the others. Based on what we're going to be doing, which I haven't told you that part yet, and so you're probably wondering what the heck I'm doing. No, not finding the floating continent just yet. I'd like to, but hey, you know what. Now we're going to head back to Tamasa. Or not so much Tamasa as the cave outside of Tamasa. This is where I do my main level grinding, is right here. But, here's the trick. Go into magic, and hopefully someone has learned this spell. Oh, guess what? you can't use it right now. You have to wait till you're in battle. Okay,